Welcome to our channel. We explore the fascinating world of medals, badges, and patches from around the globe. Discover their history, meaning, and hidden stories. Support us by liking, commenting, and subscribing to catch new releases. Enjoy the journey.
Today, we will talk about such an interesting and rare award as the Order of the Partisan Star of Albania in 3 degrees. But before I begin the story, I want to delve a little into the history of the Albanian partisan movement in World War II. Albania in World War II became the arena of fierce resistance to the Italian and then German occupation. The partisan movement that unfolded in the country played an important role in the liberation and establishment of the socialist regime after the war. The beginning of the occupation and the emergence of resistance. On April 7, 1939, Italy invaded Albania and established a puppet regime under the leadership of King Victor Emmanuel III. Many Albanians did not accept the occupation, which led to the formation of the first centers of resistance. However, an organized movement began to develop only in 1941, after Germany's attack on the USSR and the activation of communist movements in the Balkans. In November 1941, the Communist Party of Albania was founded, which played a key role in organizing the armed struggle. In 1942, large-scale partisan actions against Italian troops began. In response, the occupiers used repression against the civilian population, which only increased support for the rebels among Albanians. After Italy's capitulation in September 1943, Albania was occupied by Nazi troops. However, by this time, the People's Liberation Army of Albania was already a powerful force, ready to fight against the new invaders. The Germans tried to establish control over the country, but the partisans continued to operate actively, organizing sabotage and fighting the occupiers. In 1944, under the leadership of Enver Hoxha, the People's Liberation Army began decisive offensives against the German troops. Thanks to the successful partisan war and the help of the Yugoslav People's Liberation Army, Albania was completely liberated by November 1944. Unlike many other Eastern European countries, Albania's liberation was achieved with little or no Soviet intervention. After the war, a socialist regime was established in the country under Enver Hoxha, and Albania became one of the most isolated communist countries. The experience of the partisan movement played an important role in shaping the national identity and political system of the country. The partisans who fought against the Italian and German occupation were awarded various decorations for their bravery and contribution to the liberation of the country. Such an award is the Order of the Partisan Star, which was one of the most significant awards in Albania, established to reward participants of the People's Liberation Army. The order was introduced by the government in the early post-war years, when the communist regime led by Enver Hoxha began to form a system of awards similar to those that existed in socialist countries such as the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia. The awarding of this order became an important way of recognizing the contribution of veterans of the partisan movement to the liberation of the country, as well as strengthening their status in the new socialist state. The Order of the Partisan Star had 3 degrees. The Gold Star of the first degree was awarded for exceptional merit in military operations and command of large partisan units. The Silver Star of the second degree was awarded for outstanding combat merit demonstrated during armed struggle. The Bronze Star of the third degree was intended to be awarded to ordinary partisans for bravery and participation in battles. The order was awarded for successful partisan operations against Italian and German troops, for courage and selflessness in battle, for leadership and organization of partisan detachments, for participation in diversions and sabotage against the occupiers, and for special merits in organizing underground resistance. Here are some of the outstanding recipients of the order. Enver Hoxha, leader of the People's Liberation Army of Albania and head of the Communist Party, who led the partisan movement and organized resistance against Italian and German troops. After the war, he became the dictator of Albania and remained in power until his death in 1985. Mehmet Shu, one of Albania's most talented partisan commanders, he commanded the 1st Assault Brigade of the National Liberation Army of Albania, and participated in key battles for the liberation of the country. He later became the Prime Minister of Albania, and was the second person in the state after Hoxha. Haji Leshi, who was an active participant in the anti-fascist resistance, commanded large partisan formations. After the war, he held the post of chairman of the Presidium of the National Assembly of Albania. Spyro Moisiu was the commander-in-chief of the People's Liberation Army of Albania, coordinated the actions of partisan detachments and contributed to the successful liberation of Albania from the Nazis. Bakir Baluku, a famous partisan commander, after the war, the Minister of Defense of Albania. One of the key military leaders who played an important role in strengthening the Albanian army. Foreign recipients of the order. In addition to Albanian partisans, the order was also awarded to foreign allies who supported the struggle of the Albanian people. Among them were Yugoslav partisans who participated in joint operations with Albanian units and Soviet military personnel who assisted Albanian partisans in organizing military operations. Although the Red Army did not directly participate in the liberation of Albania, unlike Yugoslavia and Bulgaria, the Soviet military provided logistical, intelligence and organizational assistance to the People's Liberation Army. Among those awarded were Soviet military advisors who were sent in 1944 to help the partisans with planning military operations and supplies. Soviet sailors of the Black Sea Fleet, whose ships provided support on the Adriatic coast at the end of the war. NKVD and GRU intelligence officers and saboteurs from the intelligence groups that operated in Albania and Yugoslavia, supporting the local partisan movement. They helped coordinate actions with the Yugoslav and Albanian partisans, which contributed to the successful liberation of the Balkans. And also Soviet pilots who flew in support of partisan detachments. Here are examples of Soviet soldiers awarded the Order of the Partisan Star. General of the Army Nikolai Vatutin. Commander of the Southern Front during World War II. He was awarded the Order of the Partisan Star for his services in supporting Albanian partisans and helping to liberate Albania from fascist troops. Marshal of the Soviet Union Alexander Vasilevsky. Chief of the General Staff and one of the most important Soviet military leaders. The award was given to him for his strategic leadership of actions that included assistance to the partisans and coordination of actions to liberate Albania. The commanders and officers who took part in the operation to liberate Albania in 1944 were also awarded this order for their assistance and coordination with the Albanian partisans. The awards of the Order of the Partisan Star served as a symbol of friendship and cooperation between the Soviet Union and Albania during the war. The order played an important role in shaping the national memory of the anti-fascist resistance in Albania. It not only emphasized the military merits of the partisans, but was also used as a means of political legitimacy for the new authorities. Many awarded veterans received high positions in the government and the army. The Order of the Partisan Star remained an important award in Socialist Albania, emphasizing the contribution of veterans to the liberation of the country. After the fall of the communist regime in 1991, many former partisans lost their privileges, but their exploits remained part of the national history. After the war, Albania initially cooperated closely with the USSR, and many Soviet soldiers who fought against the Nazis received Albanian awards. However, after the break in relations between Enver Hoxha and Nikita Khrushchev in 1961, information about Soviet awardees in Albania became almost inaccessible, and many Soviet symbols were removed. If you are interested in the awards of Soviet soldiers who participated in the partisan movement in the Balkans, it should be noted that many of them were awarded Yugoslav orders, such as the Order of the Partisan Star of Yugoslavia. The set of the Order of the Partisan Star of Albania, which you are now seeing on the screen, contains all 3 degrees of the order. The first degree order was produced by the Nizhnekamsk Mint, made of silver with subsequent gilding. The second degree order is also produced by the Nizhnekamsk Mint, made of silver. The third degree order was most likely produced in the GDR, at the Pravima factory, but it is possible that it could have been produced in Poland, at Menitsa Państwowa, made of bronze. All 3 orders are covered with hot enamel and have a standard Soviet clamping nut. The third degree nut, as well as the order, are made according to the Soviet model. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Just write to the email specified in the channel description.
Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed learning something new about the world of Failuristics. If you liked this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us grow and create even more exciting content for you. Stay with us and see you in the next episode.